You are sitting at an outdoor cafe in Southern Europe, sipping an espresso and looking over the Mediterranean Sea. You moved here for the sun, the lifestyle, and let's be honest, the massive tax breaks you read about online. But then your laptop opens and your first tax bill arrives. Suddenly you realize that the zero tax paradise promised by the internet gurus do not exist in real life. Instead, you are looking at progressive tax rate that climb as high as 50%. And that is the Mediterranean tax trap. Most people group these countries together because they share a coastline, but from a tax perspective, treating them the same is somewhat of a mistake. Some are aggressive tax traps disguised as paradises, while others offer highly sophisticated windows of opportunity. Welcome to Taxplained, explaining tax so you can minimize your tax burden and maximize your freedom. Today we're breaking down the tax of 7 top Mediterranean destinations: Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Cyprus and Malta. Let's separate the marketing talk from the real tax law. For a decade, Portugal was the undisputed king of European expat relocation thanks to the non-habitual resident or NHR program. It offered a flat 20% tax on qualifying high-value jobs and a 0 to 10% tax on foreign pensions. Then political wind shifted. The original NHR closed new applicants. If you are looking at Portugal today, you're dealing with NHR 2.0, officially known as the EC regime. It's no longer a blanket program for any remote worker. It is strictly targeted at specific industries, namely scientific research, tech innovation, startups, and highly specialized corporate roles. If you qualify, you can still get a flat 20% tax on your employment or self-employment income for 10 years. But if you don't fit in one of those narrow government-defined boxes, you default straight to Portugal's standard progressive tax rates. And those rates quickly scale up to 48% plus a solidarity tax. Portugal no longer is an automatic yes. It has become somewhat of a compliance puzzle. Just across the border, Spain is famous for the Beckham Law. Named after football star David Beckham, this special inbound worker regime allows you to relocate to Spain, but you can elect to be taxed as a non-resident. The benefit is simple and powerful: a flat 24% tax rate on your employment income up to 600,000 euros. Anything above that does jump to 47%. If you compare that to Spain's ordinary tax rates, which can easily top 50% depending on the region, and the savings compared to that are massive. Furthermore, Spain's recent startup law reforms expanded this regime to digital nomads, remote corporate employees, and startup funds. But here's the catch that trips up a lot of people. The Beckham law applies almost exclusively to employment income. If you are a freelancer running an unincorporated business, or if you structure your corporate dividends incorrectly, the Spanish tax authority will reject your application. Plus, Spain has a regional wealth tax. While Beckham law beneficiaries are generally exempt on foreign wealth, your local Spanish assets are still exposed. Spain is therefore great for high-earning employees. It can be dangerous for more asset-heavy entrepreneurs. If you are a high ultra net worth individual, Italy offers arguably the most aggressive tax incentive in Europe, the lump sum tax regime. Under this system, you pay a single fixed flat fee on all your foreign source income, capital gains, interest, and dividends. It doesn't matter if you make 1 million or 100 million euros outside of Italy, your foreign tax bill is capped. It's basically the ultimate predictable tax option. Additionally, it completely exempts you from Italian wealth tax and foreign asset reporting. What's the catch, you ask? The barrier to entry. Following recent policy adjustments, the flat fee is now 200,000 euros per year. If you are earning millions annually from an international business, foreign real estate, portfolio, or a liquid investments, 200,000 euros is a bargain to live la dolce vita. But if your income drops, that 200 euro bill stays exactly the same. So you can actually say that Italy's regime is a premium luxury product built for a very specific tier of wealth. Greece, in that sense, looked at Italy and Portugal and decided to build its own system. It created 2 entirely separate tracks in its tax code. For investors, There is a flat fixed tax of 100,000 euros per year on all global income, requiring a 500,000 euro investment into the Greek economy. For retirees, a flat 7% tax rate on all foreign sourced income. The 7% pensioner regime is one of the most efficient structures in Europe. It applies not just to your pension, but to your foreign dividends, interests, and capital gains for up to 15 years. But do not miss the fine print. To keep that 7% rate, you must illegally shift your tax residency, which requires spending more than 183 days a year in Greece. Your lifestyle has to match your paperwork. If you're merely using a Greek address as a paper shield while living elsewhere, you risk an audit from both Greece and your home country's tax authorities. Many people look at Turkey for its beautiful coastline and its quick investment-based citizen program, but confusing a citizenship passport with a tax strategy is a classic Plan O failure. Turkey does not offer a special low tax expat regime. If you move to Turkey and establish tax residence, meaning you stay there for more than 6 months in a calendar year, you are taxed on your worldwide income. Turkey's progressive income tax rate starting at 15% and can climb rapidly up to 40%. Turkey is an incredible lifestyle and geopolitical backup asset, but from a pure tax minimization perspective, you can go there for the asset diversification. Finally, we have the true corporate and entrepreneurial hubs of the Mediterranean, Cyprus and Malta. Both use a legal framework based on English common law, making them highly corporate friendly. Cyprus offers the non-dom regime. If you move to Cyprus and qualify as a non-dom, you are completely exempt from personal taxes on dividends, interests, and capital gains globally for 17 years. Combined with a corporate tax rate of just 12.5%, Cyprus is an absolute powerhouse for digital entrepreneurs and holding companies. Malta operates on a unique remittance-based tax system for non-doms. Under this rule set, your foreign source income is only taxed if you actually bring or remit that money into Malta. If you leave your foreign business profits or investment returns in an offshore corporate account, Malta levies exactly 0% tax on it. For international business owners who can leave their wealth growing outside their country of residence, Cyprus and Malta, of course, offer one of the most flexible corporate personal tax combinations in Europe. So which one wins? There is, of course, no single right answer because the best option depends entirely on how you make your money and where you want to live. If your income comes from a high-paying remote corporate salary, your best Mediterranean option is Spain under the Beckham law. If you work in a highly technical or scientific field, Portugal's NHR 2.0 is your best fit. For those with massive global investments or major business exits, Italy's lump sum regime or Cyprus' non-dom program offer the greatest advantages. Finally, if your wealth is built on foreign pensions and of course passive investments, Greece's 7% flat tax is the optimal choice. The biggest mistake you can make is chasing a headline tax rate without looking at the structural alignment. A messy startup creates massive compliance liabilities. A tailored strategic setup gives you freedom. Before you book a flight or sign a lease, do a complete feasibility review so you can align your corporate structure, your source of funds, and your daily lifestyle. Build your plan O with precision. If you want to map out your global options safely, subscribe to Taxplained and I'll be seeing you in the next video.